preparing document only, core Java document indirectly. In the process of preparing the core Java nodes, we must present one program in the document for model purpose. In the real time, we never use. Private inner class means high level protection, that is. Private will not come out of the class, no, it is high level protection. So, the language information, you are here to learn class. Class construction is going on. Anyway, private variable possible, private method possible, private constructor possible. Private variables, private methods, private constructors possible. This is very important. This is very important. Means variable and constructors are very important. Private constructors, private variables are very important. So private classes also can be there. Private classes. So private class also possible. That's the information to you. Already inner class itself, for your protection reasons, actually, whenever you want to make one complex code, see there, Java, what happens is, when the Java goes on to peak level, very hard will be there. Frankly, I'm speaking. When you go to high level, because it reaches high level, no? When it reaches to last level, web services, microservices level means the code looks very much complexity because security must be there. The level will be very high. So whenever you want to write one high level complex code, inner classes will play a role generally. Already observed also, I asked you to take that total inner class chapter as one document, one printout. I asked you to take it, separate printout, inner classes in Java. So whenever you find time, you must read that document. Means at least you must watch that document. What are the names? What are the models? What kind of flow available? At least you must remember that. Remaining two are easy. Inheritance and reference. If you practice for 1 hour, 2 hours, you can remember them. But inner classes always complex only. Always complex only. So today, private inner class came now. Private inner class can be, private classes can be only inner classes. Private classes can be only inner classes. That is a statement to you. So in this statement now, yesterday, here, there is one inner class subclass 1. There is one inner class subclass 2. Both are private. These private inner classes are available to. These private inner classes are available to non-private inner class of same outer class. That only concept. Understood this point now, right? So that access is non-private inner class. This is non-private inner class. private methods accessed by the non-private methods of same class. Private variables are accessed by the methods of same class. Private constructor is executed when the object is created in the same class. Then what about private inner class? Private inner class is available to non-private inner class of same outer class. That's the theory. Available to non-private inner class means definitely public only. Non-private inner class of same outer class. Make a statement. Note. These private inner classes are available to non-private inner classes of same outer class. These private inner classes are available to non-private inner classes of same outer class. Non-private inner class of same outer class. Non-private inner class of same outer class. Look here. This one like 1 minute. Right. Yesterday, I took polymorphism. I took subclass. In this subclass, private one class is there. Private one more class is there. This is non-private inner class. The two objects I created inside this inner class. So I made that two inner classes available to non-private inner class. Through one method I am accessing. So the methods also I am accessing with the method of same inner class of outer class. That's the coding. So this code actually looks very complex generally. So this is one program available to you. Simply you speak. The classes which are declared with private keyword are known as private classes. These private classes are only inner classes. We cannot declare outer class as private. Answer over. Then they will ask one question. If they want to test it, they'll ask a question. The question is, if I declare one inner class as private, how you will create the object? Then you must say, private meaning access inside the class only. It will not come out. That's the meaning of private. So whenever I want to create object for private inner class, I must take one more inner class, that is non-private. I must take one. Non-private means public only. The public inner class I must take it. Inside that public inner class, I'll create object for private. That's the theory. Okay, right. So these are the points anyway. So now go with final, the last component to final. The following are the final programming components. The following are the final programming components. Final variables, final methods, final classes. Final variables, final methods, final classes. Final variables, final methods, final classes. Only three will be there. Final blocks not there. Finally blocks are there. Finally block means exception handling. Final blocks not there. Final constructor not there. Very important interview question is define final constructor but not there. Final constructor not available. Okay, right. Now final variables. Before that, note. There is no concept of final blocks, final constructors, final classes, and final interfaces. There is no concept of final blocks, final constructors, final classes, and final interfaces. Final interfaces. And this is final abstract classes. Final abstract classes. Now, final variables. Generally, you know final variable. Where you know final variable? Sir, in interfaces, the variables which are declared within the interfaces automatically final. If I don't write final keyword also, the variables are considered as final. That final variable must be assigned with one value, means must be initialized with one value. Once initialized, there is no modification. Such variable we call it as a final variable. Up to now, final variables not entered into class. You can see in the from day 1 to today, final variable will not declared in the class. Final variable came into interface only. Now we are entering into class here. Final variables, the variables which are declared with the final keyword in classes are known as final variables rule. These final variables must be initialized with value. Once initialized, cannot be modified. Make it. The variables which are declared with final keyword are known as the variables which are declared with final keyword. With final keyword, the variables which are declared with final keyword in classes are known as final variables. The variables which are declared with final keyword in classes are known as final variables. Rule. These final variables must be initialized with values, and once initialized cannot be modified. I said no. Final variables means secured variables indirectly. These variables must be, means final variables must be initialized with values, and once initialized cannot be modified. I am repeating the statement. Final variables are secured variables. Final variables are secured variables. One point to be remembered here. Always the comparison is in between class and interface. Generally, the comparison in between class and interface. Now I want to take one final variable. Imagine I want to take one final variable in class. I want to take one final variable. Automatically the variable is final in the interface. Whenever you take one variable inside the interface, it is automatically final only. So anyway, the variables in the interface is final. The rule, you must initialize with values. I'll initialize 100. I'll initialize 200. You can initialize it. Initialization means already know. Initialization means the starting value of that variable. You must not keep the variable empty. If you keep the variable empty, error will come. So final variables must be initialized. Here automatic anyway. Here not automatic. We have to declare the variable as a final. Okay, right. Now in interfaces, constructors are not there. In classes, constructor is there. We know that already. So interface do not have constructor. Classes will have constructor. And you know the behavior of constructor already. Constructor is executed while object creation. While object creation, constructor is executed. You know already, while object creation, instance variables will get the memory. While object creation, instance variables will get the memory. When the instance variables are getting the memory, then you will assign the value. Okay, right. So your other given one flexibility. The flexibility is the final variables in classes can be initialized using constructors. That flexibility given. This option not available in the interfaces, but using constructor, you can initialize, means you can load the data into here. If you want to load the data into, means I must not say load it. If you want to initialize, means starting value, you can take with the constructor. So the statement for you to be remembered is, in classes, the final variables can be initialized using constructors, where the option is not available in the interfaces. Whenever we are using constructor to initialize the final variable in classes, same rule is applied for abstract class. What are the rules available for the class? Same rules available for abstract class, except two differences. In abstract class, one abstract method will be there. Abstract class do not have object. Except these two, remaining all rules are common like your classes. Make a statement. Here, note. The final variables in classes, can be initialized using constructor. The final variables in classes can be initialized using constructor. Very important point that. I said no, the best example, PAN card application. The PAN card applications, right? The PAN card will be maintained by one government agency. Actually, all your government agencies will maintain one third party agency will be there for PAN card. Government related data will be available there. Like your pension schemes of government, central government, state government, they had pension schemes. That all data is organized by one third party. That third party's high level securities will be there. There Java is available. For your kind information, Java is there. Students do not understand the worth of language. Actually, why I am speaking that point means, two students, one Python, one Java. What two students will be sitting in lab, they will be writing adding of two numbers. When you are writing adding of two numbers program using Python, using Java, you cannot differentiate. That only today's comparison happening in the market. Not that comparison. Come to high level. When you come to high level, our pension scheme said, the highest security should be given. One government employee, when he joins, he has one pension scheme. Daily within the salary for him, 4,000, 5,000 will be cut. At the ending, they will return back or not now. Somebody has to maintain that, no? With high level security, they must maintain. With PICE, because he works for around 40, 50 years, he is looking for retirement amount. Many families will be there. So that agency has to maintain much data. Now government will give authorized to some agencies. Their high level security language must be there. Don't think that Java is popular because of object oriented. You can understand when you enter it. Java is popular because of security. I'm pointing this in many levels. I'm pointing it. Their best example for us, for understanding purpose. Tomorrow you call any agent of PAN card. PAN card also comes under the same agency. That PAN card, not Aadhaar card, is there another agency. PAN card and pension schemes comes under one agency, government agency. You call one agent where you can fill your PAN card form. So he asked for 10th class certificate. He asked mandatory. So PAN card is not address proof actually. PAN card is not address proof. It is a proof of one citizen paying one income tax generally. So whenever you want to take one PAN card, he asks mandatory, I want your 10th class certificate, he says. Then you can ask him, why 10th class certificate? Date of birth. I want your date of birth. Now, date of birth is going to play a role. For that, he want one document, that is 10th class document, he asked it. Right? I don't know. Depending upon the states, depends, I don't know. But it is a 10th class certificate, they'll ask it. Now, he fills the form of a PAN card. Whenever he is filling the form of PAN card, somewhere, date of birth field will be there. He is entering the data or not now? This data will be taken by the constructor assigned to date of birth of your software. This field is final. Once your application accepted, you cannot change the date of birth. Understood this one? It's called final field. You cannot change it. Once it is submitted, once the PAN card issued, the date of birth printed on your PAN card, it is a final field. Understood this point or now? It is a final field. So like this, many are there. So final fields are going to play a role. But always you cannot assign directly, no? Somewhere you have to load it runtime or not now. So they given flexibility for classes. In classes, through constructor, we can initialize final variables. Speak in the interview. The final variables in classes can be initialized using constructor. Final variables means secured variables where unchangeability available in the market today, that all final fields. Any software says that we cannot change it. If anybody says, that meaning is that is registered with the final field. It cannot be changed. Make it. Final methods. Final methods. Final methods. NSDL, correct. Very good. Right. Final methods. See there. Final methods means, many people are confused. Everybody will remember, final methods means cannot be overridden. First, let me write the normal definition. The methods which are declared with final keyword. The methods which are declared with final keyword are known as final methods. Final methods. The methods which are declared with final keyword are known as final methods. Final methods cannot be overridden, or you can say cannot be replaced. Final methods cannot be overridden or cannot be replaced. Final methods cannot be overridden or cannot be replaced. What is the meaning of it? Generally means, suppose if we take one final variable, suppose if I take final int k is equal to 100, if I take it, this 100 is the last value assigned to k, last and first anyway. So if I say int k, final int k is equal to 100, means the value assigned for this k is the last value. You cannot change it. That's the meaning of final. Final match means last match. Right? Okay. Now, I will take one method now. Void m of int x. I will take one method. Method has some body. Method means body will be there. Got it right? So method has some body. This is the body. Void m of int x having body. Now, if I add this method as a final, Final means this body cannot be replaced. That's the meaning. This body is the last body you cannot replace. Once the body attached to method signature, you cannot change this body. Means already some logic is available. You cannot change it. That's called final method. Don't change it. That's called final. Final means last. Understood this point? So where we use these final methods, especially in the libraries, in your Java library, they will write many algorithms. Java is simple. One feature is there. At the ending, I discuss the features. My class will be different. I will train features in the last. Generally, all trainers will write in the first. So if I write in the first, you will byheart it. If I write in the last, you will discuss it. Last means you also knows the Java language, no? First means I only knows Java language. I must speak only one way. If I speak in the last, you will participate it. Okay, there I observed, here I observed, here I observed, here I observed. You can understand it. Then you can remember more. Because I never give the notes of features in the first in my classes. I will discuss in the last. So one word is that Java is simple, they'll say. Why Java is simple means, of course, today Python is more simple, I think. Because they had a script code, no? Right. All auto-generated will come. You cannot see class component also. Direct one line will come. Automatical object will come. So students will feel more happy when automated is there. So before them, we are calling it as Java is simple, we say. Why Java is simple means API programming. API programming means already readily some components are constructed and readily available to us. We can use them. That's called API programming. In this API programming, suppose some methods are there. In that method, some algorithms are there. You must not change it. For that, they'll declare final. When you write final, the body cannot be replaced with the other bodies. Overriding not available. Replacement not available for these methods. Such methods we call it as final methods. The methods which are declared with the final keyword are known as final methods. Final methods means cannot be overridden, cannot be replaced. Make a statement. Next one. Final classes. Final classes. The classes which are declared with final keyword are known as final classes. The classes which are declared with the final keyword are known as final classes. Are known as final classes. Final class means, suppose if I say today is the final class, means what? Tomorrow no class. Means extension of the class is not there. That we are calling it as a final class. Look here. Final class means, suppose one class is there, imagine it. One parent class or any one class, A class is there. If it is not a final class, I can extend this class to another class. I can extend this class to another class. Suppose if I take non-final class here, you can extend to another class. If I say this class is final, extension not there. Whenever I say class is final, for it extension not there. Means what? Final classes cannot be extended or cannot be inherited. There is no inheritance for final classes. Generally, why this concept came means, one project will come now. We have to stop the project there. Suppose in the real-time market in your motor field, cars and bikes, some models will be stopped. Means what? Final. So that extension, whatever the technology is there, they'll make it as a final. Means extension not there. This is the final model. Means what? Extension not there, they close the file and keep it. So final class. In my project, final class means inheritance not there, extension not there. Whenever you want to stop it, we declare it as a final. Automatically it will be ended. Make a statement. Rule. Final classes cannot be extended or cannot be inherited. Final classes cannot be extended or cannot be inherited. You can say there is no inheritance for final classes. There is no inheritance for final classes. There is no inheritance for final classes. Final variable, final methods, final classes. All of you observed this? Right. Sir, what we are going to do with them now? Note. NOT note. Using final programming components, we can construct. Using final programming components, we can construct immutable classes. Already you know immutable objects, no? Yes or no? Na? What is immutable objects? Object once created cannot be modified. The data available in the immutable object, modification not available. But whenever you want to generate that object, the class must be immutable class, no? Right. Now, using final programming components, we can construct immutable classes. So, FAQ, define immutable classes. Immutable classes. Define immutable classes. The classes which are constructed using the following rules. The classes which are constructed using the following rules are known as immutable classes. The classes which are constructed using the following rules are known as immutable classes. Following rules. Rule 1. The class must be final class. The class must be final class. The class must be final class. The variables in class must be private and final variables. Private and final variables. Private and final variables. The variables in class must be private and final variables. Private and final variables. Right? So final means what now? Already you know. Once initialized cannot be modified. Private means you know, accessed by the methods of same class. The class must be declared with only getter methods. Must be declared with only getter methods. Must be declared with only getter methods. Underline getter methods. Who are attending advanced Java, you know getter methods and setter methods. Now, rule 4. These getter methods must be final methods. Must be final methods. These getter methods must be final methods. If you follow these 4 rules, you can call the class as immutable class. So who are attending advanced Java, you must write 3 definitions together. Their bean class rules came, no? Right. Bean class rules, immutable, a singleton class yesterday. That one. And immutable class. You must write the notes together and read it. When you are interviewed, they'll ask that question. What is immutable class? What is, of course, final class, you know. What is final class? What is immutable class? What is singleton class? What is bean class? Followed by what is Pojo class? What is Spring Bean? The 2 questions will come in the, when you cross advanced Java, they will come. When you are sitting in the project, they'll ask these 6 questions, they'll ask it. Whether you know the differences or not, they'll find it. So up to now, you know how many classes means. Here, core Java means singleton class, immutable class, and final class. Who are attending advanced Java, you know bean class rules also, you know. So there setter methods are there, here getter methods are there. There setter getter both are there, here only getter is there. So getter methods means which are used to get the data from the object. So anyway, the situation came to getter methods. No, write once again here. Right here, define setter methods. Define setter methods. The methods which are used to set the data to the objects. The methods which are used to set the data to the objects are known as setter methods. Setter methods. The methods which are used to set the data to the objects are known as setter methods. Define getter methods. The methods which are used to get the data from the objects are known as getter methods. The methods which are used to get the data from the objects are known as getter methods. This statement generally I will write in the core Java, I will write in the advanced Java also. Because drawback of me is I will be available in both. So some definitions will be reflected here and there, because first they'll come in the core Java, then they'll come in advanced Java. But today's fast track nature, students are attending parallelly, no? Right. So you are seeing the similar things nearer. In before pandemic, I used to come for framework also generally. Before this corona and so on, my batches will be in the framework also. Before that. So if we come to framework again, I only will say Pojo. I only will say Spring Bean actually. But nowadays, because of this NASCAM attachment, no, I am busy with core and advances. Generally, before this corona and so on, my batches will be in Hibernate with JPA also. Generally, I'll start core, advanced, Hibernate with JPA. I'll come. One cyclic process I'll do. Before that pandemic, means before this corona and so on, my batches, 3 batches will come actually. Why 3 batches I'll do means within 4 months, I'll make one student eligible for the market with framework. That is a strategy the management played actually. If a student comes as a fast track, so, sir, I don't have a time. I have only 3 months time. If they come, no, 3 months for no, they'll say, go to Venkatesh sir and join it. He has a 3 batches, core, advanced, Hibernate. So you can fastly update one framework. You can put a framework means calls will come. But unfortunate today, Hibernate not there. So it is outdated. So many companies are not using Hibernate. So they don't want to waste my time. They hold it. Already Spring, already 3 faculties are there. No, Natras sir is there, Vijay Kumar is there. So the senior faculties are there already. So they are recurring me in the core and advanced. But actually, so these small definitions will be reflecting here and there immediately. Actually, in my core Java notes only, I'll write setter and getter. I'll write it. There I written one rule. Same rule is repeated here. Rule of making. Rule of declaring setter and getter methods. Actually, before corona, the teaching is very easy actually. After corona only problems came. This Zoom meetings came, online came, soft copies came. These all concepts came because of this corona. Corona, who is benefited means student is benefited. No notes, no writing, no need to come regular, notes will come. So this all, who is benefited means student benefited. Who is trained means faculty is trained. I must not sit again and I must edit the notes and upload it is all. Generally in Amirpet training, what we will come to the class, we'll see the topic, we'll train it, we'll use one board, we'll use it and go it. Student who is interested, they'll write it. Who want to waste their time, they'll waste the time. So we cannot expect all will come to Amirpet to train themselves, no. Somebody will come to waste their time also, generally. So we never touch anybody. So we'll come and deliver the subject. What we are speaking, we'll speak them correctly and we go out. If any student comes to us and approaches, we explain it. Because we are not graduation students, graduation trainers, no. But what we deliver, we'll deliver up to the market, we go out. But this Zoom meetings, this all came after this only, no. Generally, our systems are not connected to Zoom and actually. This is a new thing happened actually. We are all offline trainers. Offline trainers means we'll contact to the student directly. The student has to stand in front of us directly. We are offline students, offline trainers. Online, we don't know whether listening or sleeping or they are traveling or they'll put a phone and they'll go out and come. If any mother and father says go and get one vegetable, means they'll drop the phone and go there. They'll come back, sir, say once again, sir, they'll say. So such cases will be there. We never predict what is happening in the background. If we can see one student live in the, we can explain them. One laptop comes, if not one document comes, then the subject delivery will be easy for us. Anyway, rule of declaring setter and getter methods. The rule is nothing but, suppose one class is there now. One class is there. In that class, suppose 3 variables are there. One class is having 3 variables. Every variable must have one setter method. Every variable must have one getter method. Means one setter method, one getter method. Means there are 3 variables means 3 setter methods will be there. 3 getter methods will be there. Not only rule. Rule of declaring setter and getter methods. Each variable in class will have its own setter method and getter method. There are 10 variables, means 10 setter methods, 10 getter methods. Every variable will have one setter, one getter. Make it. Rule of declaring setter and getter method. Every variable in class will have its own setter method and getter method. Will have its own setter method and getter method. So here I said only getter methods. No, suppose 5 variables are there, automatically 5 getter methods will be there. It's a concept. Now, see, these are the some reading points in a flow. Note, NOT note. These immutable classes will generate immutable objects. These immutable classes will generate immutable objects. Immutable class object is immutable object only. Immutable object. Already you know the immutable object, no? Yes or no? Right. Immutable objects. Now let me demonstrate one small program where I'll use one constructor to initialize the final variable. Small demo program. You take one class, registration. Roughly, I am taking one registration. I want to take this class as final class. This class is final. Now, here one variable, private final name. String name. Address, ADDR. And some date of birth. Roughly name, address and date of birth. Roughly I am taking. So why error is coming means final variables must be initialized with values. Must be initialized with values. Final variables, no, they are right. To initialize, I am taking registration. I am using one constructor, string name, string address and string date of birth. This dot name is equal to name. This dot address is equal to address. This dot date of birth is equal to like this. Using constructor, I am initializing the final variables. Now here only getter methods actually. only getter methods. Setter methods not available. Why setter methods not available means final variable modification not available. Final variable modification not available. Got it right? Now right click here, source, generate getter and setter, select all. Here one final keyword is there, final. I'll repeat it. Whenever I want to generate getter methods, so every variable will have its own getter method. To generate getter method, right click here, source, generate getter and setter, select all. Here one final keyword is there. Can you see final? Right. And generate. So get name, get address, get date of birth. So every variable will have its own method. Now this one is immutable class. This class is immutable class. This class is immutable class. This is one immutable class. Immutable class means class is final, variables are private and final, only getter methods and they are final. If you follow these 4 rules, the class you can call it as final class. Now here, registration.java. I'll go with main class. Demo poly4. I'm going. Demo poly4.java. The main class. This keyword I not explained. Look here. This keyword means these instance variables, local variables, if both are same, we take the support of this. Means you are loading the data into same class variables. This represents same class, no, or current running class. So this represents same class or current running class. So when you are loading the data onto same class, loading the data onto same class variable, loading the data onto same class variable, we use this keyword here. Whenever the same variable names are there, we use it actually. Now go for main class now. Demo poly4. Demo poly4. Import test.star, import java.util.star. Scanner yes is equal to new scanner of system dot already exception handling over now for you. System.out.println, enter the name. string name is equal to s dot next line. Enter the address. Date of birth. Then create object for registration. OB is equal to new registration of some name, address, date of birth. Now this object is immutable object. Why immutable object means the object is coming from immutable class. Just to display the data, reading and displaying only. Name is equal to ob dot get name. We are accessing with methods. ob dot get address. Date of birth. ob dot get data. This program is only for demo only. Just we are initializing final variables using constructor. If we construct the class using 4 rules, that is immutable class. The object generated from the immutable class is immutable object. That's a theory. If you run it, enter the name Raj. Sir, date of birth some 29. That object what is created, that is immutable object. That only information. Sir, what we will do these immutable objects and where we use these immutable objects, why they are popular generally. Already your wrapper class objects are immutable objects. Java.lang.string objects are immutable objects. String buffer objects are mutable. That's different. So somewhere immutable objects are there for security anyway. So where we construct this user defined immutable objects, where we construct it. Right. So this is demo program where we are initializing the final variables. Here see that we are initializing the final variables using constructor. Sir, why you use this keyword here? Somebody asked a good question only. Because up now I used or not, I cannot remember. But this represents same class or current running class. This is used to access variables from the same class. Then why you use this here means same names are there. This name same. This address same. This one same. When we are loading the data from local variable to instance variables and the variables are having same names, then we must use this. If there are different variables, not needed. If there are different variables, not needed. So this keyword used here, I'll comment here only. I'll comment here. Right. This is used when we have same names in instance variables and local variables. This is used when we have same names in. This is instance variables. This is local variable. Yes or no? Yes or no? These variables are inside the constructor. These are local variables. These are instance variable. Both with the same names are there, no? Right. Your execution engine will get a confusion because I am saying that load it onto same class variable. That's the meaning. When both are same, we use this keyword. Right. Sir, where I can use these immutable objects in real time? Note. NOT note. Look here. Banking domains. Everybody knows. Banking domains means n number of banks today. Today, Paytm also one bank only. Airtel also one bank only. That many banks are there today. Right? Okay. Banking means definitely financial transaction. Security must be there. Securities must be there generally. So here, immutable object. Immutable object means once created, you cannot modify. In real time, immutable objects are used to hold transaction details. So the users are making n number of transactions, depositing, withdrawing, transferring, doing payments. N number of transactions you are doing or not now. If you go out, one mobile phone in your hand, we don't know where you are scanning and where you are paying. That many transactions happening or not now. Today 5 rupees, 2 rupees, 50 paise also possible, I think. That much of digital payments happened or not now. So all our transactions, for every transaction, they have to record it permanently. And once recorded, you must not modify. In that situation, what we have to do? As an object-oriented programmer, we generate one immutable object to record that transaction, and the object is stored in the database. That only happening in the market. Make a statement. In real time, immutable objects are used to, in real time, immutable objects are used to hold transaction details in banking domain applications. Banking domain applications. In real time, immutable objects are used to hold transaction details in banking domain applications. Banking domain applications. Right. Now look here. So there we keep an full stop for polymorphism. If I scroll back. In polymorphism, here definition anyway. Definition of polymorphism. Dynamic polymorphism versus static polymorphism. And difference between static private and final. Here singleton class design pattern, and here mutable classes versus immutable classes. If it is not immutable class, it is mutable class only. mutable objects. It is not immutable object, it is a mutable object. So mutable objects versus immutable objects. So these are the points covered there under polymorphism for you. If anybody asks what is the difference between static constructor, private constructor, final constructor. So there is no static constructor, there is no final constructor. Private constructor is executed when the object is created inside the same class. That point you have to remember it. So these are the components. So this is about your class component, object component, abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism, and inheritance. The points. Now, object-oriented features, we keep an end there. And already, alphabets has been ended already. And under programming concepts, we are pending with these two. Yes or no? Right. So we are entering into Java collection framework. We are entering. So first we touch Java collection framework first. So Java collection framework completed, multi-thread concept, 2 sessions. Very easy multi-thread. Major is Java collection framework. So for this, we are entering into arrays in Java. Now enter into arrays in Java. Why arrays coming now? Non-primitive data types are categorized into how many types now? 4 types. Yes or no? What are they? Class, interface, array, and enum. At last today, 3rd data type is coming. That is array. So arrays in Java. Make a side. So star mark IMP arrays in Java. Array disadvantage is collection. Collection disadvantage is map. That's a sequence. Array will come. Array disadvantage, collection will be introduced. Collection disadvantage, map will be introduced. That's a sequence. Okay, right. Arrays. Right. Array is a sequenced collection of elements of same data type. Array is a sequenced collection of elements of same data type. According to Java, array is a sequenced collection of. Array is a sequenced collection of objects of same class. Objects of same class. Array is a sequenced collection of objects of same class. Or you can say array is a sequenced collection of similar objects. Similar objects. Here similar objects means objects of same class only. Similar objects. So according to Java, Array will collect objects. Object oriented programming, no. Array will collect objects. According to other languages, they collect some elements in the form of values. For us, elements in the form of objects. The point. Now, types of arrays. Make it types of arrays. Arrays in Java are categorized into two types. Arrays in Java are categorized into two types. Single dimensional arrays. Single dimensional arrays and multi-dimensional arrays. Single dimensional arrays and multi-dimensional arrays. Generally, your C teacher will write 2 dimension, 3 dimension, 4 dimension, something he will write. That 2, 3, 4 are multi only. Multi means more than one. All will come under multi-dimension. So simply you can categorize it into two types. Single or multiple. So multiple means more than one. So point. Now single dimensional arrays. The arrays which are declared with single dimension, are known as single dimensional arrays, or you can say one dimensional arrays. You can say single dimensional arrays, or you can say one dimensional arrays. You can say. Right. The syntax of one dimensional array is class name array variable is equal to new class name of size. Right. Now, one example program. Write a program to read and display integer wrapper class objects using array. Write a program to read and display integer wrapper class objects using array. I'll construct the program now. I'll explain the program by tomorrow. You'll get the clarity. Okay, right. See there. Arrays in Java. Access demo array 1. Import java.util. Scanner s is equal to new scanner of system.in try of s. Right. Now system.out.println enter the number of integer elements. Here integer elements means integer objects. And int n is equal to s dot next int. I am taking integer a is equal to new integer of n. So this is array object. This is array object. This is array object. You have to add the data. System.out.println. Here enter n integer elements. Enter n integer elements. So n integer elements, no? Here int I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length I plus plus. Now a of I is equal to new integer of s dot next int. Now the data is added. Now system.out.println display using old for loop. Using old for loop. For int I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length I plus plus. Now the system.out.print a of I dot to string. This is old for loop. Now system.out.println here display using extended for. Display using extended for. Now for loop, end of loop. This extended for means Java 5 version anyway. So integer k colon a. Now the system.out.print k dot to string. Now Java 8. Now Java 8 loop I am using. So print ln display using special iterator. Special iterator. Java 8. Java 8. Now special iterator working on integer sp is equal to arrays dot special iterator a. Now sp dot for each remaining lambda expression. This is the latest loop we had. System dot out dot print z dot toString. This is the latest. This is Java 8, 2014. But still people are hanging here only. SAR I++, SAR++, higher. Still the people are in 2004 only. There is a old loop. It's a old loop. This is the latest one. This is 2014 and this is old. This one. If I run it, I'll get the answer. Enter the number of integer elements. 5. Enter 5 integer elements. 12, 34, 23, 56. Answer is coming or not now? So just in a single program, I am introducing the iterative statements. Old one to new one. And I am going to show the diagrammatical form. How array is available to you. Other language arrays are not equal to Java arrays. Remember this. Sir, I am very strong in arrays in C language means forget and come tomorrow. Our arrays are different. Because we keep these arrays in the last. If we keep in the first, what happen? Matrix multiplication, transpose of matrix, diagonal matrix. I said Naireta. Here objects are available. I am holding 5 integer objects. And tomorrow I am going to hold your student objects, employee objects. You had an assignment waiting for you or not now? That I given to I asked you to convert that student class, I think, into exception handling. Do you remember? That exception handling student class I'll provide in a standalone application with a CUI, with array. Array means multiple students results you can calculate here. Right here we are holding objects. Okay, right. Tomorrow I'll reveal that point, what has been available in this program. For today, you type that program and run it and come. So that is demo array1.java. Take a break for today. Right. Thank you very much for today. Take a break.